before I even say this, or before I even say that, do you think the vast majority of the Chinese population celebrates Christmas?
None of them do.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because religion's illegal.
Fair enough.
In China.
Fair enough. Okay. So, basically, what you're telling me that we were taking what was started as a religious holiday, and we are outsourcing it to another country, basically. I mean, obviously, not just one country, a vast majority of countries, in order to increase profits for companies and corporations.
Well, now we're not even talking about Christmas. Because now we're talking about the problem we have with worldwide trade.
But it gets magnified because 80% of retail stores collect their balance sheet in 6 weeks out of the year, from prior to Thanksgiving to right after the New Year.
Right. And where do those products come from?
Well,
the commercialization of Christmas is a corrupt and fucking goddamn disgusting fucking, tactic, obviously used by a lot of these, people who are just, quite honestly, wealth mongering, as far as like, in particular, corporations and everything goes.
We're talking about the problems we have with globalism and trade right now. We're not talking about Christmas and commercial. I mean, in a sense we are, because, like I said,
80% of the balance sheet. It's a huge part of it.
It's all interconnected, one way or the other. But the real problem is that these companies, all across the world, you can find cheap labor, and the fact that we're not taxing, or I can't remember the actual word.
Import tax.
We're not
or tariff.
We're not tariffing products coming. We're doing like this free trade agreements with these countries that that'll pay their workers literal dirt to make a product and then ship it to the United States, and it's still less expensive even after paying for the transportation of that product. First of all, we have to put tariffs on all items coming into this country, especially from countries that are using pretty much slave labor and selling it to us, because we should be we need to re-up the manufacturing in this country.
Wouldn't you say American corporations exploit
Absolutely
slave labor in other countries?
As soon as you buy your cell phone, you personally, you are exploiting slave labor. Every product that you buy across the world,
you heard it first.
From countries
you
like
are exploiting
China
slave labor.
and Thailand. You absolutely are. 100%. You 100% are, and you know it yourself. That if you buy a product from that part of the world, you are guilty of exploiting slave labor.
I agree with that, sentiment and everything.
You bought it. You're buying the stuff. You're a part of it. You are a part of it.
Everyone in the world that is, connected to this thing that is called the internet is a part of it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, realistically, what do you do about that?
You don't buy products that are made in those places.
So you basically just go live in a hut.
Or you buy American-made shit for jacked up prices.
The only way a consumer can speak is through their money.
That's true.
That is the only way that you can speak.
And this, kind of goes back to the, commercialization, statement that I made earlier. It was like, the only way that any of us can, invoke change is just not doing it.
Yeah. And we all know that, but what's the percentage of people that know it?
Just don't do it. I mean, granted, it's, cool for, kids, cool for kids and everything, so on and so forth, whatnot. Yes, get them their, presents, everything. But don't buy me anything. You know, I mean, parents, even the kids don't buy me anything.
Well, I will say something. One thing about parents is that most parents, when they see you, they still see their little boy or girl that they raised. So for them to buy you a gift or want to buy you something, I don't think that's wrong.
Unless they don't know you very well and then they buy you a fucking gift.
Right, just to try to make up for all those years they missed.
What's the worst gift your parents have? I almost regret asking this question already. What's the worst gift your parents ever bought you?
Probably the clothes they fucking buy me, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, the other shit's useful, or I just say, yeah, send that back.
Well, I mean, the clothes are useful too because you can burn it.
Or send it back and get something that actually, like,
Donate it to Goodwill or some shit.
or I can just send it back and get clothes I want.
I don't know. That was just a little side thought. I was like, oh.
Back to Christmas. Commercialization.
I mean,
Basically, you already said most of the shit.
right, but I mean, I still believe that, the fact is that, especially with like advertisements and everything and whatnot, they just try and, get the hype train going throughout, the holiday season in order to create their profits for the year, which basically happens in a 6-week period on a retail, store side of it.
And it's just kind of insidious because Christmas is supposed to be a time of like happiness and shit. So they exploit that whole hanging out with family and giving them things because I'm pretty sure at some point in time Christmas was about like giving someone something that they needed. Nowadays, no one really needs anything, so now it's all basically consumers.
Well, I would venture to say in this particular
Right. You can
I mean,
always go to another country and give them fucking food, and that's like gold to them, you know what I mean? But obviously I'm talking about us in America. So.
Yeah, I mean, I totally concur with that.
Like, think about it, like
that
back,
assessment.
like, what was it, Great Depression. Like, back then, someone probably knitted a fucking shirt for someone for like 3 months, you know what I mean? Just